Game start.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Out Studios, where we always go
Oh,
all out. We are plenty of asses here, some smart, some dumb, some average intelligence, perhaps some superior. It's pretty obvious who's who. My name is Liv, aka MxLivvie.
my name is Nate, aka Voltake77, and once again, baby, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast! Woohoo! It's back
Yeah,
with your favorite chaotic duo. Your favorite chaotic duo is back, baby!
yeah. Now, if you guys couldn't
Oh,
tell from
yeah.
the title already, we are going to be continuing talking about one of our favorite shows ever from Netflix. So, Liv, introduce it, please.
All right. So, a couple months late. We apologize for that. But this episode, we are going to talk about season 2 of both my favorite Netflix J drama, Alice in Borderland, because it came out December 22nd, and oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
yeah. Yes, it
I mean,
was.
we already had plans to talk about it, when season 2 came out, but god, it was just so good.
Yeah.
So, so what I'm thinking we're gonna do is we can go through all the games because they took place over multiple episodes. So we'll go through all of the games. How about
Yeah.
that? And how about this time, to avoid any confusion and interrupting each other, we'll take turns being the main narrator for each game.
Yeah, that sounds good. Now, if I remember correctly how each game went, it's gonna be a doozy to figure that one out.
Okay, so I guess I can start. So,
Wait, pause. Hey everyone, it's Editing Voltake here. I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering why I stopped the video abruptly. Well, it's because I want to explain something. So as you can tell from the intro, we did not mention that it was going to be a three-parter, especially since the title is Part 1 out of 3. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be wondering why, and it's because, well, it wasn't intended to be a Part 3 kind of thing. It was actually supposed to be one whole video that we planned to do, just like we did with the Alice in Borderland Season 1. However, we had two situations that occurred that caused us to stop. So, first situation was obviously that Liv had some technical difficulties on her end where her internet kind of stopped. So that came out of nowhere, and because of that, we had to stop the recording for a split second until that was fixed. After that, we ended up moving on and continued on with part 2, where we recorded the same day, which is the time of I'm recording this right now, before we ended up having to actually stop it because I had to leave to go see the Demon Slayer movie, which, by the way, was a good movie, but there's some things I could say about it, but I'm gonna hold off for spoilers. So there's gonna be a three-parter series. So right now you are seeing the first part of the recording, and then believe, hopefully by the time this video comes out, tomorrow or a day after, depending on what happens, I will be uploading the second part of the recording we did on the same day. And then whenever me and Liv get back to being free and available, we will record part 3, capping it all off and ending the podcast. So sorry it has to be like this, but we felt this was the more logical way of doing it than having to scramble to make this all good. So yeah, bear with us on this. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for your patience, and let's get back to the podcast.
we didn't get a recap, I don't think.
Uh,
But,
Kinda.
we can do a recap ourselves. So, previously on Alice in Borderland.
Dun.
So, So, Shibuya. It's overgrown. We're back in the Borderlands, completely overgrown. Arsu, Usagi, Chishiya, and Kuina are waiting for the next stage to commence because, as when they left off on season 1, they had gotten through all of the number cards of all the suits, and they were now about to face the face cards, which are, of course, in any card deck, you have the Jack, the Queen, and the King. Those are the face cards. Yep. Did you just flip off the screen?
No,
It just looked like you flipped off the screen.
I did. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. It looked like you flipped off the screen.
I'm flipping off the haters. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Okay. So the first face card that they are going to face that is marked by zeppelins flying all around Tokyo to kind of mark where the location of all the games. So the first zeppelin that comes up that they see is the King of Spades.
Ooh.
And oh boy, the King of Spades, man. So the King of Spades. Now you may so just to recap all of the face cards, the suits and what they mean. So clubs are team games where you have to all work as a team to win the game. Diamonds are intellectual games where it's about brain power. Heart games are about your heart and your emotions, and they're the most devious of games. And spade games are about physical strength and brute force. So the King of Spades, being the highest of the face cards, is the ultimate physical brute strength game. And boy is it, because as Arsu, Kuina, Usagi, and Chishiya, the gang, let's call them, are waiting for the game to start, and it's oddly not starting, and they're like, what's happening?
What?
Some people from the beach show up. The beach, being the utopia / cult, that was absolutely a cult.
Not even / cult, it was a cult.
Oh, it was absolutely a cult.
It was absolutely a cult.
That burned down during the Ten of Hearts game. Some survivors of the beach show up, and they're like, we saw the King of Spades card flying over Shibuya. What's going on? Bang!
Oh my god.
Gunshots.
Can I talk about that really quick?
Yes, please do.
So when I first was watching this, here's the thing. When we did the recording for the first podcast of Alice in Borderland, Liv had already seen a couple episodes of Alice in Borderland Season 2. I was barely...
Yeah, I think I was at maybe episode 3.
Yeah, I think so. I was barely rewatching the Season 1 because I needed to refresh my memory before Season 2, which was a mistake because I broke down crying.
Oh no!
Yeah, the episode 3 still got me. But I got to episode 1 of Season 2, and, as everyone's gathering up, it's like, oh shit, hey, look, the people at the beach. It's like, hey, listen. And next thing you know, when that shit happened, dude, I was taken so off guard that I actually screamed.
Oh my god, you screamed?
Yeah, because I was like, oh my god!
Dude, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, what?
I know that like they did not give us any heads up or warning. They just went for it.
They did not.
Oh my god!
They really did not.
Context on why everyone saw me freaking out. This is why. I did not fucking expect that. That shit scared me so much. All right, Woo! Continue.
So we see gunshots. We see people go, fall to the ground as gunshot wounds litter their poor bodies.
Sadly.
Yeah. And from out of the crowd, the dispersing crowd appears, the King of Spades. He is in all black. He has a long black coat, and the hood is over. I don't have a hood to demonstrate this, but it was like in Assassin's Creed. You know how the hood like covers their eyes in Assassin's Creed?
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
Basically like this. Ladies and gentlemen, hold up, let me fix this.
Yeah, that's it. But it was maybe like here, but I'm assuming a mask was like over his face to hide it, to like hide his identity. Yeah. And so he appears with a machine gun and he starts gunning people down in the street.
Fucking murks them.
Oh yeah. It was like honestly, it kind of threw me right back into that mindset of how this whole thing was like reminiscent of a video game. Because you know how when you're in a video game and you're like, I don't know, in explore mode or something, you just, you get the urge to just kill everybody you see.
Sounds like aka Minecraft and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You just get the urge to like kill everybody you see or like destroy everything you see to get like points for power-ups or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the King of Spades reminded me of that. They're all just... And I actually had a dark thought of, like, they're all just the NPCs of a video game. And I was like, oh god, that's dark.
I know,
They're all just the NPCs of a video game.
That's sad.
Yeah. So obviously, this being a spades game, you would want your the logic with that would be, you got to win using physical force, and so they do, but they try. I mean, they try, and they don't succeed because again, this is like the ultimate spades game. So the king of spades is going to be like ultimate in like ultimate tip top shape. He will be almost impossible to defeat on your own. But luckily, help arrives in the form of An and Tata.
Yeah.
On being the stoic, scary woman that I actually really liked. That was dissecting people's brains and was the forensic scientist at the beach, and Tata being the lovable handyman character with the hat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
missed
we
those
met
too.
in I believe the Five of Spades game, the tag game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I had a fun fact that I learned actually.
What's up?
So in the like beginning, like in Shibuya, when everybody's first beginning to be gunned down, one of the people that's gunned down is actually Haro Aso, the creator of the manga Alice in Borderland manga. Like he has a cameo of one of the people getting shot.
No shit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. He had like I think he had kind of like longish hair that kind of like stuck out, sort
Mm,
of. I don't know.
interesting.
Honestly,
That's cool.
it kind of reminded me of like Jinga Hagana's hair from Beyblade.
Yeah.
Not like it stuck up completely, but like it just kind of stuck up behind his head.
No, that kind of makes me think it's funny because it's funny when you get to see like the creators make a cameo in their own like show or creation, and then they end up
Yeah,
dying. Like it's funny when they do that. I mean,
yeah.
I think Michael Bay did that with Transformers, where he got flicked by Megatron.
I honestly would love that. Like if I created something and I had the chance to appear, like make a cameo, I would want to be shot like that.
I know, imagine where
You know?
that would be cool. Like sure, we died, but hey, at least we got to be like, hey, hi.
Yeah, I think Alfred Hitchcock used to do that. He used to appear in like in all of the movies. Like he used to make a little cameo appearances. I mean, he
We
didn't die, but
well we
he made little cameo appearances.
I mean, the king of cameos himself, Stan Lee, did that a lot, and the man was a legend.
Oh yeah, he was absolutely a legend. But
Bless him.
anyway, we digress. But yeah, but we digress. Anyways, so An and Tata appear with a car, and they go get in, get in, get in, and everybody gets in except Shishia because my man couldn't run without taking his hands out of his pockets for
I
some
know, I
goddamn
know,
reason.
I
He was
know. What
just
the hell was
running
that?
with his hands. He was just running with his hands in his pockets the whole time.
He's like, I gotta keep my hands warm.
Yeah, and so Chishia gets separated from the group, but we will check back in with Chishia later in one of my
Yes.
favorite games, actually. So they drive off. They eventually escape the King of Spades. Actually, I remember I saw like a promotional pictures of like the characters in the car. And when I saw An was like gonna be driving, I was like, "Ooh, I hope she gets to do some stunt driving." And I was like, and then in the scene where they're trying to escape the King of Spades, she does get to do stunt driving. I went, yes!
Freaking
I
On
was
went
so
sicko
excited.
mode. Like On went beast
I
mode.
really, I really snapped this season.
I know.
Can we acknowledge her? She's an icon. She
I
really
know.
snapped this season.
She went from being a stone cold bitch in season one to being one of the baddest bitches in the show.
Oh, absolutely. God, she's so cool. So, should we? So that's the King of Spades. That is our introduction to the King of Spades, and actually, that is the game that is ongoing throughout literally like the whole season. Because while most of the Zeppelins are they Zeppelins or are they blimps?
I don't, I think those are Zeppelins.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep calling them Zeppelins
Yeah.
because while all the other face card Zeppelins are in one building, one area, just they're stuck in place. The King of Spades Zeppelin is flying all over Tokyo. So
Yep.
like all of Tokyo is his game arena, and he is not going to stop until he kills every last player.
Yeah, of course
And so
of course,
Yeah.
though, I will interject here real quick. Of course, there is a rule that if your game is active or if you're near another king of spades or whatever, king of spades, king, queens, or jacks area, you are not allowed to interfere with their game at all. You could be around them. It's just you cannot be in their designated area. That's not allowed.
Yeah. And you can't kill their players while the game is going on.
Exactly.
So out of options because, not even Usagi can beat him. No matter how strong and iconic she really is. So out of options, the Arsu, Usagi, Kuina, Tata, and An decide to lay low until they can go find another face card game to hide in and maybe find some clues about what exactly these face cards are all about and also where exactly the hell are they?
Yeah.
Where the hell they are. Because Arsu keeps questioning that the whole season.
And it is a good question. It's like there's no way this could be Tokyo. Like this has to be something else, right?
Yeah,
And
because when we left off in season 1, like Shibuya was like overgrown.
yeah.
It was like starting to be overgrown. Places
Yeah.
were starting to be overgrown with like plants and vines and trees, and it's like, what?
And
Please
the
don't
fact
grow
that
that quickly.
yeah, I know. And the fact that there's like animals coming around like very fast too, it's like already concerning. And let's say this right now, we know where they are and oh my god, it's going to be a shocker when we
Yeah,
talk about it.
it's a doozy. It
It
is
is.
a fucking doozy.
Uh
So, with a lull between the two games, we follow Night Falls, and we follow Arasu and Usagi as they go to get supplies at a convenience store. And we get another flashback of Arasu, Karube, and Chota hanging out. You
yeah.
guys remember Arasu's dead friends, Karube and Chota, who died in season 1, episode 3, in probably the most tragic, most heart-wrenching deaths I've ever seen in a piece of fictional media.
Oh my god.
God, it still gets me, man.
I know, dude,
It's st-
when I saw that flashback, dog, of them like talking and just hanging out, I wanted to cry. I have a recording. I think I still have it saved on my phone. I have a recording of me recording that scene and just going, "I missed." I'm gonna,
oh, dude.
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that record. If I still have it saved, I'm gonna put that recording in the video. So editing Voltaic, make sure to add that in.
Yeah. Put that in. Put that in.
I missed them. I missed them.
Since we're in a convenience, the flashback, and I just have to say it because this was kind of funny to me. The flashback is triggered by Arsu seeing on the shelves a bowl of instant yakisoba, but it's strawberry shortcake flavored.
It sounds gross.
Yeah, I know. And they were saying that in the flashback. Like Shota was all excited, like, "Oh, look, it's dessert flavored yakisoba," and Carmen was like, "What the hell? Who would ever eat that? That's disgusting." And then Shota, of course, goes, "I would," and he goes, "You really are a virgin."
I know.
I get the
Don't go
feeling
saying
Carve
things like that.
I get the feeling Carve just used the virgin card whenever Chota said something lame.
He does. He does. And I stood that through all. Okay. Spoiling this now. Through all those flashbacks, he has called Chota a virgin, and it is hilarious.
It's hilarious every single time. In both in how like he just kind of deadpans, like you really are a virgin.
Yeah.
And how Chocho's like offended, but also like just kind of takes it like ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean fuck you, but yeah.
I mean, it's funny though, because even though when you see Karube go like stone face, you really are a virgin. Like you could tell he's definitely joking around because he quickly smiles after that. Oh man, I missed them.
Sort of tells you how. And it sort of tells you how close they were as well. That he could make that he like Chota like he was able to make fun of Chota like that without Chota being like seriously hurt.
That's
by it.
that's that's the beauty of friendships right there. It's like it's one thing to always be nice to your friends and caring to them all the time, but when you have friends who can easily make fun of you in probably the most fucked up way possible, and you laugh your ass off at that, that shows how good friends you are because you guys can literally say the most fucked up shit to each other and still be like, "Hey, what's good? Let's go."
That's friendship, baby. I do that with
Yeah.
my friends sometimes. Like one time she like tripped and fell and like dropped a bunch of stuff. And instead of going, and we're at the point of our friendship where instead of going, oh my God, are you okay? I just went, see, bitch.
I know. No, yeah, that's what I love about like all my other friends, including with you, Nick, and Adon. Like we can easily like be in the most pain ever, and we could go like, "Hey, yo, don't die in front of us," and then that's it.
No. We're just like, oh my God, we're like Choda in episode one, like you going, oh my God, I stepped in someone's
So
vomit. And we're
sorry.
just like,
Could you have
good
us?
job stepping in vomit.
Yeah. Or a reminder, actually, I'm gonna put this clip in from the Cartoon Network podcast when we were talking about Bubbles, like who we were as the Powerpuff Girls, and Adon was like, "I can't tell between me and Nay who's Bubbles because we're both dumbasses," and Nick, without in a heartbeat, Adon, it's like, explain yourself, Nick. Why should
Classic.
I? Yeah.
I feel Nick would be Professor Utonium.
Yeah.
I feel like
Aw,
I feel like Liv would be Blossom. Honestly,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I choosing between me and Nate on who's Bubbles because honestly we're both pretty fucking stupid.
Adam.
But oh, okay, I see how it is.
There was no Nick,
Ow! Ow!
yourself. Explain yourself, Nick.
Why should I?
Ow! Okay, I guess you're. I guess
Yes,
you're.
Mason.
I guess you're Buttercup, Nate.
I guess so.
Nick, you're amazing, man. You're quiet, but when you speak, everything that comes out of your mouth is quality.
You just made our day, bro.
Ow!
I'm gonna put that clip in too. Editing Voltape, you got your job done.
You're gonna be doing the most editing Volteg.
I know. Fuck
We
you, Don.
digressed again. We digressed again. Oh my God. Okay, so anyways, he gets that flashback, and he's sad. But then he goes to Usagi, and they flirt for a little bit. They started flirting for a little
I
bit.
know.
Yeah, like she started acting like a perky cashier, like thank you, please come again. And he goes, and Arsu goes, I bet a lot of guys would have come to the store to see you because you're cute. She goes, what? What?
What?
Yeah. It literally, it was really cute. Honestly, I love those two so much.
I think that's what I also love about season 2. Is that it actually like showed the development of the relationship through this.
Yeah, but in like not a really fast-paced way, because obviously they've got bigger priorities. Like they were about to die just a couple hours ago.
Yeah. So, but like you
But
could definitely tell
happens
it's there.
at like a natural pace. It was going.
That's what I love about shows when they like naturally pace relationships and all that stuff, and they develop it really well. That's where it's like in the end, it's like yes, it finally happened. But when they like
Yeah.
force it down, it's like okay.
Asian dramas, I found generally, like K-dramas and J-dramas, they are really good at doing that. Like showing like the natural development of a relationship. Like I just finished a K-drama called Business Proposal, which is also on Netflix for those who want to know, and is very good. It's so good. But yeah. But unfortunately, the mood is ruined when they talk about what they're going to do when they get out of the Borderlands. And Usagi says that she is questioning whether she wants to even leave at all.
Yeah.
Which comes to a bit of a shock to Arsu because my guy just assumed that she wanted to leave too. And then, because, every relationship has to have conflict.
Yeah.
Conflict.
I think what...
And that is where my narration of the King of Spades ends, and we can go into the next game. But, Volt, what were you going to say?
I think this is the thing, though, is that even though there is that conflict, of Usagi not wanting to leave and Arasu
The
wanting to
ghosts are
leave.
here.
Yeah, I think so. Of
You
Usagi
got a
now.
ghost in your room.
I probably do. I've had a lot of weird ghost shit happen lately. But
Yeah.
I think what I like about it is that even though there's a conflict between Usagi not wanting to leave and Arasu wanting to stay, they both still do what they can to help each other out in the end. Because even though they both have different goals, they all don't want each other to die regardless. So they do what they can. Sure, there's gonna
Yeah.
be the little bit of tension here and there, but they don't let it stop them. But
And a couple, and a like maybe a big mishap by Arasu's part, but he makes up for that.
he
But we'll
does.
be getting to that in the next game. So
And
Volt, take it away.
ladies and gentlemen, we are going into the next game, which is what card is this again? The King of
King of
Clubs.
Clubs.
Yes, the King of Clubs, which by the way, two things in this episode happened that tripped me the fuck out. First off, obviously On got separated due to the King of Spades earlier.
Yep.
So it was just Tata, Kiwin, Arasu, and Kuina. Why did I say Kuina? Kuina, Tata, Arasu, and Usagi, and they go to the area where the King of Clubs is. And when they do, they see there's 5 bracelets. So as they're getting ready to put the bracelets on, they're saying, who should the 5th member be? And who walks up behind him but the dipshit himself?
Who
Frickin'
indeed?
the
Who
dipshit
indeed?
himself.
Fucking
Nagisa. Not
it's
Nagisa.
Naragi. It's
Why did I say
it's
Nagisa?
Naragi.
Naragi. It's been a while. That's how much I
Naragi.
care. That's how much I care less about that asshole, Naragi. I
He
care
ain't
that.
worth our time.
Yeah, he ain't worth our time. But yeah, Naragi is back, looking as fucked up as ever because he did
Oh,
get his
yeah.
ass burned.
Yeah, Chishiya burned his ass in the 7th episode of season 1, and he's still alive, even though Aguni ran at him like a freaking bull at a
Yeah.
matador, and dragged him into the fire of the beach. But also that does raise the question: if Naragi survived, does that mean Aguni survived?
Well, you'll find out later
We'll
on.
get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Before we
Anywho.
continue on with the game, though, first, just like how we did in season 1, props to the special effects team because man, they really did well making Naragi look like really burnt the fuck up.
Oh yeah. I was actually concerned for a minute. I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I remembered he's an asshole. So.
Yeah. But damn, imagine being like that though. First we had Chota's leg being burnt to a crisp, crispy. And then we got freaking Naragi looking like total fried chicken.
Yeah, I mean, and Chota's leg must have hurt like hell. Imagine how it must have felt to burn all over the place.
I know, and then having that move, even when Naragi moves, even though he's not showing any pain, you could definitely tell if you were in that state, just moving alone would be painful. But anyways,
yeah, shout out to Dori Sakurada, the actor who plays Naragi, for his great acting, because he killed it.
Yeah, he really did. He really did. So we go into the game. By the way, Naragi joins the team, obviously. But of course, all 4 of them aren't really agreeing on it because he's an asshole and he's killed countless of people. But they have no choice and they need to, build their visas. So they end up begrudgingly let him join. So they walk into this area that has a bunch of what are they called? Crates,
It's
I think
shipyard.
Yeah, shipyard.
It's a shipyard with the freight, the shipping crates.
Yeah, with the shipping crates
containers.
all over in a way of a maze almost. And as they're going in, they also see a pole that looks like it imbues electricity. And as they're looking at it, they're wondering, who are we going to be facing? And soon, 4 people come out from different sides, looking like they're from a rock band. And then, oh god! And then
out comes the King of Clubs,
Kyuma, and we get a good view of his body and his ass.
Can I say it? He ain't got no clothes.
He ain't got no clothes. So here's here's what's ironic about this scene to me. When this scene was coming up, I randomly just said out loud to myself while also talking to I think Adon while watching this. I was just like, oh man, we were just talking about what's our favorite body parts because we're weird. And I was just I like ass. I really want some ass. Next thing you know, that scene popped up and I'm like, not that ass! Not that ass!
Shinsuke Sato heard you and said, bet.
Bad bitch, yeah. But yeah, so I don't understand why he was nude, but he explains that this is a free world. We can do whatever we want. We can be free and show our true selves. And it's just like, that's a bit too much, dog. Put some
Clothing.
pants on.
Clothing is a social construct,
Yeah.
I think he says.
I think so. So there, he is the king of clubs, and their game is called Osmosis. And I got the thing up right now. Osmosis is presented as a 2-hour long of game of tag, but its point system forces players to devise a strategy because simply tagging the opposing team is not enough. In this version, each player wears a bracelet, like we mentioned, and the team needs to decide how many points each player will be assigned. Because in this game, everyone has the same amount of points. However, they need to devise all those points into each other to fight up against their opponents. Because once they grab their opponents, they have to duel between points. So for instance, let's say Liv and I are in a different team. We devise our points. If we come together and grab each other, her points could be like, let's say, around 800. My points could be around 600. Once our points are shown, she wins the battle for having the highest points and takes away my points, adding on to hers.
And you just have to touch each other. Like, you don't have to, like, grab their hand or something. You could, like grab their shoulder or something. So, like, if I grabbed Volt, in this scenario, if I grabbed Volt's shoulder in this battle, I would still win because I have more points than him.
Yes, but however,
and
there
what was
is...
it, like 250 points were taken?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, like, if I won, when I win, some points are taken from Volt's and added to mine.
Yes. Now, here's also the thing. There's also two other ways that these could get countered. One way is easily if you were to say, let's say you had small points, but you had a friend who had enough points to add on to yours. You would hold your friend's arms or hands, thus giving you the opportunity to add on to the points. So, like, let's say me and Liv are say team 200, 300, grab our hands, adds up to 500. And then that opponent, who is either higher or lower, has to try and battle our combined points. If our points win, we get their points. However, if their points win, well, then we're both screwed.
Remember this little detail because it will be important for the end of the game.
It will. Now, also, there's also a thing of, if you remember how we mentioned the electric pole, that is their home base. Both teams have their own home base, and I think, if I remember correctly, if you touch it, it is worth almost 1,000 points or so, if I remember.
It's infinity points.
Infinity points, yeah. Now, if you have one person touching it, they have an infinite amount of points, so regardless if the opposing team has, like, all their points added up into their bracelet or something, they can easily, like, lose to that person because it's infinite points. Which, by the way, should mention that if by chance you lose all your points, you are out of the game and eliminated.
You
thus,
are lasered.
Yep, bringing that back, baby.
Whoa.
So obviously they have to devise a team. Now, here's the thing: what's the name of the guy's name again?
Kyuma.
Kyuma explains this all to Arasu and the group, and I gotta say, Kyuma is one of the least, like, psychotic people I've met. He actually was, like...
Yeah, he's chill.
Yeah, he was, like, genuinely, like, chill and friendly. Like, he was even, like, respectful to, like, all of them, being, like, showing them, like, yeah, here, let me show you how it's done. Like, he could have easily played the game without explaining it to them, but he was nice enough to be like, let me give you a tutorial.
Hello, my name is Ouija Pie. My confession.
Oh my god, Damon.
Who dat?
Sorry, that's my brother.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Oh.
Damon, we're recording something, please don't.
But yeah, Kyuma was pretty chill.
Sorry.
I liked that guy.
He was.
Actually, I liked all of them. You
Yeah.
know, like that whole group of the whole, like, King team. They were a unit. I really liked
They
them.
were. They were. It's funny because you actually get to see a flashback. They were all a rock band before, and they're actually pretty good friends. Like, they genuinely, like, give each other props for everything they do. They enjoy the music. They enjoy just being around each other. And even they have a playful thing where they'll play, like, rock, paper, scissors to decide who's going to do what. You know, and it's very playful. Like, they both, like, all work together well, and I like it. It shows that even in the Borderlands, you could still have strong friendships. And, I mean...
I think this, though, is why Kyuma and his friends were the King of Clubs game, because they were, like, the ultimate unit.
Yeah,
They
were
worked so well together as a team that they were able to survive their first stage of the game, move on to the second stage, and then become base cards for the club's game because they were just so tight knit as a
yeah.
team.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how well they could develop in this. This also shows the different shades of colors with all the people in there. Like, you get to really see different people play out. Some people could go insane, some people could stay humble and all that. So it's pretty amazing. So after all that is explained, Kuma and his team decide to go back and discuss, what their plans are. However, before they leave, Arasu tries to talk to Kuma, asking him, where are they? Will you tell us? And Kuma actually wants to make this interesting, saying, if you want your questions to be answered, come and defeat me in a duel.
In the game.
Yeah. So this makes it even more intense now, because not only are they playing to survive and get their visas, they're also playing to at least possibly get some answers.
You know what
So
would have been interesting? I actually saw. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But I remember I saw a funny thing online where I know this probably isn't really how the Borderlands works, but it questioned what would have happened if the King of Clubs had ended in a tie.
Ooh.
Where they both had the same number of points by the end. But somebody had this scenario, suggested a funny scenario where Naragi, because it's actually, by the way, y'all, look what I found at the library. I found the manga.
Yeah.
And it says, and in the manga, it explains that Naragi, before he entered the Borderlands, was a game developer, like a video game developer. And so this idea by someone online put forth that Naragi, being the little shit game developer he is, goes, hey, what if we tie? And the King of Clubs team goes, and we all live, I guess? And Arzu is, after a moment of thought, he goes, all right, bet. And he just sits down on the ground. And they all, his team follows. And then Cuba goes, okay, this is fun. And he sits down. They all sit down on the pavement, and they just spend the 2 hours getting to know each other. And then nobody dies. Everybody lives. And Arzu offers Kyuma to join their little group. And he goes, okay, bet, let's go.
Now, here's the funny part, though. There could be a twist with that scenario as well, because even if that's a possibility, you also got to remember who's in Arasu's team. Naragi. For all we know, even though there's a possibility they could live and it'd be a tie, what if Naragi's a little shit and quickly gets up and takes one of the points?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so regardless of that. But it's a very interesting game. I really enjoyed how they made this game. It makes it intense because there's also a system where if even you don't need to also steal the points from your opponents. There's also little packages in one of the tanks, containers that have certain amount of points, like 50 points, 100, 1,000, all that stuff. If you collect those add on to your team's points. However, once you get them, they're not usable again.
Yeah. It was intense, but it also seemed like in a non-Borderlands setting, for example, if we were playing this in a gym class or something, it seems genuinely fun.
Yeah, it feels like one of those schoolyard games that you would play in kindergarten and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's that's what's
a fun little scavenger hunt.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's really it feels a lot like freeze tag almost too.
Kinda. Yeah. I feel like maybe it kind of speaks to how genuinely chill and fun-loving Kyuma is. That he designed a game where in any other circumstance it would have been actually pretty fun.
Yeah, and I think actually that might have been the reason why he made it. What if he made this game specifically for his opponents to be sure they went through hell, but they could at least have some fun before they go.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting concept of why he made it. But so throughout the game, obviously,
let's see how our gang acts in the game.
Yeah, so obviously, first one they go. Fucking Arasu decides that they're gonna give each of them different point systems. Some having higher points, some having lower points, and leaving Tata to defend the goal. So they would also split them into two, where Arasu would stick with Kuina. It's Kuina. I know. Okay, Kuina. Oh, and I have her name right here, Kuina. Where Arasu sticks with Kuina, and Usagi sticks with Naragi, which obviously Usagi was not happy about, and I'm pretty sure all the
fucked up choice. Kind of a
Yeah.
fucked up choice, considering Naragi tried to assault her last season.
Yeah,
But
and pay attention to that, by the way.
In the manga, it's because Arsu was. Apparently, I heard Arsu. I was telling Volt before we started recording. Apparently, Arsu is a bit of an incel in the manga, and so he paired Usagi with Naragi because of like that conversation where she said that she didn't want to go back to back home with him, and because he was so scared of things being awkward, he paired her with Naragi.
Yeah.
Which not the best choice, but hey, what do I know?
I don't think that's
I'm
what they
just a
did.
watcher.
I don't think that's how they did it in the show, though. I think he did it to be more strategic, even though it was a little bit like, yeah, he doesn't want to make things awkward either.
Yeah. No,
But
he really didn't want to make it awkward.
yeah, so they go in, and honestly, I gotta say this, and this is gonna be shocking. Throughout the entire game, Naragi actually works well with them, and it's shocking to
Yeah.
everybody.
Very shocking. And they make you think, maybe we might get a redemption arc for Naragi. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't seem like he will betray them at any time or given place. Foreshadowing. Anyway, so
we say unconvincingly.
Yeah. So obviously, like I said, each of them get like higher points and lower points. If I remember correctly, I believe it was Kuina. God, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I am so sorry. Where Kuina and Arasu, I believe, have the higher points, while Naragi Kuina and I believe Usagi have the higher points, while Naragi and Arasu have the lower points, but they combine their points to defeat their opponents. And by chance, Kyuma actually happens to be where Kuina and I said it this time right, yes, where Kuina and Arasu are, and offers to do a duel. However, he gives a little bit of a challenge for Arasu, saying, "If you can beat me in this duel by yourself, I could tell you some things you need to know or you would like to know, but only one thing, and that's if you beat me." So Arasu's like, bet, takes the challenge, let's go Kuina, and grabs his arm, and suspenseful music hits. Arasu wins the duel.
Ooh.
And then that's when he realized,
because that's when Arasu realizes that Kyuma's team split the points evenly. Not like tiered. Split them evenly. Because as Kyuma explains, they are a team of equals.
that was like, I don't know why that seemed like a shot at Arasu, because it's like, it's almost like calling him out.
It absolutely was.
But like, goddamn, dude, goddamn. Which gotta say this right now too. Kyuma and his group are freaking crazy, dude. Like, their skills are amazing through the entire game, man. It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So continuing on. So as time goes on, actually by chance, Arasu's plan does work, and they do get more points than Kyuma and his team. However, once they regroup to think of a better plan, that's when Kyuma and his group decide to come up with some more clever ideas to outsmart Arasu in the group. And I believe that's actually when they changed the point system up differently. Because obviously, if they're going to stick with being equals, they're going to make them think, oh, that means they're going to stay as equals, so let's keep going higher. However, they obviously changed that.
Yep.
And soon...
They do that by waiting until everybody's gone from home base except Tata, and then they all attack the base together.
Yes, and this is where it gets heart-wrenching, because they all go... Tata is like threatening them, but obviously you can tell he's scared about it because he doesn't actually want to, kill anybody. Tata, like, he had a hard choice to make. All four of them decide to go and jump him, aka try to scare the crap out of him, and Tata, out of fear, reaches out and touches Kyuma's actual best friend of the group, like, the actual best friend. Shitara, yeah. I think it was Shitara. I think it was Shitara. And Shitara was just like, damn it, it was me. But he wasn't upset with the group or anything. He was more just, dang it, I was kind of hoping it wasn't me. And even going as far as saying, like, I really hope you guys win this, and if I find out that you guys lose, I'm gonna beat your asses in the afterlife. But it's not like in the aggressive, like, I'm gonna kill you. It's more of the playful, like, I'm gonna beat you up. And then
beat the shit out of you in the afterlife.
Yeah. And then Laser Shitara is
That's
gone.
what I really love about this show is
Wait,
that they make
how's it-
you,
Wait.
root for people. Like even people
How's
you're
it-
not supposed to,
No, Cal,
you're
I
like
didn't mean to.
the opponents of the main characters.
Read.
Like they even make you root for the opponents, like Shitara. Like you really want them all to survive, but
Yeah,
they can't.
I know because they're bad guys.
Well, not bad guys, but that's just the way the Borderlands works.
Yeah. So after that, shit starts going down because now Kuma's team has the higher points because three of his group actually managed to touch home base. And in the process, it makes it more difficult as the time starts getting lower and lower. So there starts to become in the group.
Drama,
Drama!
conflict.
So Naragi,
Naragi dunks on Tata
Just-
this whole time.
I
I was
hated
just
that.
like, shut
Put it in my
up!
inventory real quick.
Yeah. Speaking about that, by the way, there actually were moments where things were going good. You actually see like Arasu and all that are giving like Naragi props, and Naragi actually like recuperates. Like he doesn't be a dick and goes or walks away. He actually like high fives. Though we do have a slight moment where he actually coughs off some blood, indicating that even though he's still alive, he's slowly dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, there seems to be a redemption arc, right?
Right.
So obviously shit starts going down. They tried their best to go look for the rest of the hidden points in the crates. However, Kuma's team actually happens to be smart about it and ends up finding them. While at the same time in the process, we learn they're not just rock bands. They can fight.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
they can.
That was
Kuina
shocking.
got the crap beaten out of her.
And it's funny too, because she beat the shit out of that guy earlier.
Yeah, like Kuina's like the only like trained black belt of the group, and that guy beat the crap out of her.
Yeah.
And she was just like, shit. I did not expect that.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
So, obviously, due to that plan, they failed, and even Kuma actually, to pour salt on the wound, touches Arasu's shoulder and beats him for having more points than Arasu, and soon they all just kind of regroup and just chill for a bit. Kuma, actually assuming that they're going to win, decides to just walk off and go check out the view of the water, just because, they're gonna win, so he thought, why not just chill and have a nice view while we wait?
Yeah.
Arasu's trying to figure some things out. Everyone is trying to figure out what they're going to do with Kuina. Kuina. Why did I say Kuina? Kuina going to go, I believe, hide. Arasu's trying to figure some things out, while at the same time, Usagi's trying to find more points. Naragi happens to corner her, and
this is where we see that, Naragi ain't getting a redemption arc because he knocks her out and he tries once again
to assault her. Thankfully, Arasu comes in this time to save her and beat the living crap out of him before bringing Usagi back to home base. And Usagi, I believe, offered Arasu some of her points, and as Arasu is like getting scared trying to figure out what to do, he's about to run off before he realizes something. And I think a lot of the viewers didn't realize this too. Where's Tata?
Where's Tata?
Soon,
by the way, I feel like I should like talk about the flashback that we get for Tata as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like we said before, these games take place over several episodes. So like the King of Clubs game takes place over the span of 2 episodes, with it being the main being like all of episode 2 and then half of episode 3. So, excuse me. So episode 3 opens with a flashback of the real world with Tata. And we learn that Tata, before he was sent to the Borderlands, worked in a body shop as a mechanic.
Yeah.
And maybe not the best mechanic, but he was trying. But he kept getting scolded, he kept getting like corrected because he kept making mistakes. And it's actually like stated that like I think he says that he wants to earn enough money so that he can go to college and like
Did he die?
get and pursue something better than this. Which
Skeleton
good for you,
gonna
Tata.
die yet?
Good for you. And but that plan is cut short when one day at work accidentally crushes the hand of a coworker. Lowers,
Yeah.
he lowers the jack of the car that they're working on before the guy is able to like roll out from underneath, and his hand is crushed, and it's graphic.
Uh,
It's horrifying.
I
It's
th-
like you
Apple,
hear a
apple,
crunch
apple.
and like a
Ah.
squelching noise, and you know his hand is broken.
and the
So his
screams of
hand is
pain.
like, oh yeah, and his hand is like crushed. Like I'm trying to like show how it looked, but I can't. But like it kind of looked like this, just like crushed, full of blood. And the guy actually had to quit. He was sent to the hospital, and he's okay, but he had to quit because he can't use that hand anymore. Like he can't work as a mechanic with one of his hands out of commission anymore.
Yeah,
So
sadly.
so that sticks with Tata the whole way. And I probably think that like when Naragi was like berating him the entire time, he was just thinking of that incident and he was probably just thinking like he just always screws everything up. So let's go back to not the home base, but to the river where Kyuba is.
So before we do, I first got to point this out. Man, like we got to give props to the creators of Alice in Borderland. They make things feel so realistic.
Oh yeah, it was like I've seen like pictures of like the sets. Like there's like
Damon, close the door,
they're
please.
like green screens. They're like green screens in the background, but like there's like actual sets. They're like huge sets. It's amazing.
Yeah, but not only that, like they find ways to not only make the sets feel realistic, like actual places and stuff. They do their best to make like certain situations that happen so realistic. Like the coworker's arm getting crushed by the car. Like that is a realistic thing that can
Yeah.
happen, and that's ugh,
It's dangerous.
it is.
They're like
So
those sorts of jobs are really dangerous.
yeah,
This is why we need workers' comp.
yep.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So, anyways, as we go back, Kyoma is by the river, like we said, just looking out at the sea as we get a nice view of his back and ass again. God damn it! And Odasu soon comes over, and the two actually have a nice conversation. It's a very sad and morbid conversation, though, because obviously Odasu and his group are about to lose. So,
Yeah.
as they're talking, just being actually really open and chill, talking as if they're like real good friends. Even Kuma actually even stating that like it would have been, or even Odasu saying it would have been cool to actually be good friends with you outside of this world.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I found a funny meme on the internet on Tumblr that said, oh my god, where is it? So this was like it references how like Kento Yamazaki, the actor who plays Arasu, was in an adaptation of Death Note, like a J-drama version of Death Note.
Right?
And he played L in this Death Note series, and in the drama has a conversation with the guy who plays Light about how maybe in like another lifetime or something they could have been friends. And it says, and somebody made a meme online that says, wow, if I had a nickel for every time Kento Yamazaki played a character who talked to another main character in a setting all in blue about how in another lifetime they could have been good friends, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It's the fucking Dupin. Is that the Doofenshmirtz meme?
Yes, it is the Doofenshmirtz meme. It's happened twice.
Oh my
Twice
god.
in Kento Yamazaki's filmography, man.
Oh,
What are
that
the
is
odds of
hilarious.
that?
Who knows? But
Yeah.
memes aside,
Anyways.
they have a nice chat before Odasu offers his hands to Kyuma, and even actually like he actually seems like he accepted his fate, but he wants Kyuma to take it for him. He wants to know,
like his last act as, a living man. Like,
yeah.
will you accept a handshake?
And of course, Kyuma at first is very skeptical about it. However, Odasu makes him understand that it's not a trick at all. I just want to shake the hand of the man who defeated me to show it was an honor to have known you this long. And Kyuma...
Oh, I'm so sorry. My screen is blurry. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's fine. So, Kyuma takes the offer, shakes his hand. We cut away to Kyuma's team, and they look up at the screen in shock and confusion.
There has been a change because the voice goes.
Being
There has
called
been a change in points.
And so they look up, and what happens? Arasu's team not only stole the points from Kyuma's team, but are now higher than Kyuma's team. Meaning, as the time's about to end, they win.
How did
He-
they win?
Flashback! Arasu's looking around confused when he realizes that Tata is no longer there at the home base before he starts hearing boom, boom, boom. He goes over to where the noise is, and what does he find? He finds Tata at a container with his arm in it and the door slightly open and him moving. Oh my god, he's crushing his arm!
Yeah, he's crushing his hand to and when Tata lifts and when I think it's maybe Arasu wrenches the door away and you see Tata's hand and it's an eerie moment where it looks exactly the way the guy's hand looked when his hand was crushed at the body shop. So why Volt? Why the hell is Tata crushing his hand?
He believes he is not only the weakest link of the group, meaning that he can easily lose his points. However, he is the only person in the group that does have the most points. So, he thought it'd be a smart idea to give his points to Arasu. How was he going to do that exactly? Well, he was going to crush his arm to the point where it was so broken and so bent that he can easily slip the bracelet off it and hand it over to Arasu, thus adding on to his points. But
So
he... Good.
And so,
Sorry.
when Arasu shook Kyuma's hand, he would have Tata's bracelet. Because, they just had to be wearing the bracelet. They never said anything about taking it off, I believe is what Tata said.
Yeah. And it's so emotional, too, especially because Tata, at the end, they just needed to do it one last time. He asks Arasu to do it for him. Arasu doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want to harm his best friend, his new friend.
Oh, yeah.
But Tata is screaming at him to do it in order to save everyone's life. So he's going, do it! Do it! Arasu screams, slams it, and we got that eerie moment where it fades to black, but we can hear the noise. Tata screams as he pulls out the bracelet and hands it to Arasu. After that, Kyuma ends up seeing the bracelet as Arasu explained what happened, and Kyuma just goes, man, you guys really are messed up. That was...
yeah. He's just he's not even mad. He's just holy shit.
Shit,
that is messed up.
That is dark.
Yeah, it's when you see a really graphic scene in a horror movie and you laugh.
Yeah.
You're just stunned.
Yeah, so after that, Arasu and Kyuma end up actually having another good moment with each other. Even Arasu and them saying, it'd be cool if we could be friends, like we said before. And as Kyuma's getting ready to accept his fate, Arasu begins to ask Kyuma the questions. Is there a way to get out of here? And I believe, if I remember correctly, Kyuma doesn't exactly give him a straightforward answer, but he does end up saying, if you believe that you can end up leaving the Borderlands, then there is a chance. But if you don't, then there's not. It's really up to you. And in some cases...
I love that the face cards all kind of maybe impart these lessons.
Yeah.
About just life and living amongst people as well.
Yeah, it's a very surprisingly moving moments for them, but it's also it's kind of ironic that they're giving these guys moving scenes when all hell was breaking loose 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So after that, they all accept their fate. They're all saying thank you to their team, all appreciating all the lives they had together before they all look up and accept their faith and die.
I really liked how Kyuma went out, his arms spread out, looking up at the sky, and he goes, I lived my life how I wanted. I have no regrets, and I'm happy to die.
Yeah,
that was so moving.
He accepted his life, he accepted his fate, and that was honestly the most moving thing ever. And then after that, everyone comes back to celebrate. Kyuma
Kuina.
Kuina.
Dude, is this
I'm sorry. Probably
shot.
yes.
Take-
Kuina.
For those
Kuina.
watching at
Kuina.
home, for those watching at home, take a drink every time Volt says Kuina's name wrong.
Kuina. I gotta get it in my head. Sorry. Again, it's been a while. Kuina. Yes.
Oh my
Kuina.
god, Editor Voltec, put in a tally.
Oh my god. Please don't put it in the tally. You know what? It's funny. I'm gonna tell myself not to do it. I'm probably not gonna listen. He's probably saying damn right now. Fuck you, editing Volteg. Anyway, so Kuina ends up waking up Usagi. Usagi's like concerned before Kuina explains that they won. Usagi asks how they won. Kuina ends up mentioning it was Arasu, but then they get revealed what really happened, and they come over and see Tata with his last breath talking to Arasu as he asked if he did good, and Arasu said he did, and they were glad to be friends. They were glad to meet before Tata's head goes down. No longer with us.
I really wish we had gotten more of Arasu and Tata's friendship because it showed we didn't mention before, but like when Arasu was thinking of trying to think of a plan, he suddenly turned to Tata and he said, "If we're going to die, then I just want to say thank you because you are so optimistic, you are so hopeful, you always try to see the best in people and try to find a way." And that inspired me. So thank you for inspiring me, Tata. And that actually gives Tata his motivation to try and to essentially sacrifice his hand, because I genuinely think no one had ever said that to Tata before, where they were like grateful that he was around.
Yeah, and the thing is though is that like obviously when Tata got scolded, obviously that's like it's not even because not people didn't like him. It's just that he needed to learn. He needed to do something in order to improve himself. And when Arasu gave him that sort of praise and thanks, it took him off guard because this was new to him. And
because
honestly,
tough love like that is one way to make people improve, but also just seeing that they're a human and that you can't get down on people all the time. You have to also build them up if you really want to see them reach their true potential. You also have to build them up and help them to see what's good about them.
It's funny because
did that for Tata.
It's funny because there was a TikTok I saw I think like a couple days ago where it was like it was one of those court shows, and when it was showed like I guess the uncle or a father talking down to a kid who was trying to leave the streets. He wanted to actually leave because he didn't want to grow up in that dangerous area, but the uncle wasn't giving him that like love or support, and the judge ends up going
encouragement.
yeah, and the judge sees that and he's crying because he sees himself in the kid, and he even says to the adult saying like, it's one thing to give tough love to a kid, but where is the love in that? It's just toughness. There's no love.
That's the thing. If you want to give a kid tough love, there has to be love in there.
Yeah,
right?
and
if there's no love, then that's just being mean.
Yeah, you're not
getting down on the kid.
Yeah. So after that, we actually have a sweet moment. We actually have a sweet moment where Kuina, Usagi, and Arasu. I'm sorry, Bliff. Kuina, Usagi, and Arasu actually made a little bit of a memorial for him. They buried him, they put a little cross for him, and even left his hat on it as they paid their respects for him. And even though Noragi is such an asshole, he actually from afar ends up saying, I can't believe my ass was saved from your stupid ass. But in the end, you did save me. So thank you. And then walked off. He's still an asshole, but like that was a sweet moment. And honestly, I gotta admit that episode made me cry because I really love Tata.
Did you notice that we got the most tragic death of the season in episode 3? Just like we did last season.
Oh my god. They knew what they were doing.
Episode 3?
I don't know. Episode 3? I don't know, man.
The writers really went, we are going to make deaths that are so tragic, and then we're going to write them in the same episodes.
Oh my god, dude. They were smart, though. Yeah. I didn't notice that. So, after that, obviously, Noragi leaves. Usagi, Kuina, shut up. Kuina, and Usagi, Kuina, and Arasu leave to go do the next thing before the view of the story changes from them to almost a prison area. I wonder why. Live, if you will.
Why indeed? But before we continue, I just want to say I found the meme that I was referencing from earlier, where it says, "If I had a nickel for every time a character played by Kento Yamazaki in a J-drama adaptation of a manga met with his enemy in a primarily blue area where one of them was destined to die and had a deep conversation about their lives, which ended in Kento Yamazaki proclaiming that if they met in another way, they could have been friends and worked together, I'd have 2 nickels," which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Please send that meme. Please send that meme so I can put it on the screen.
I'll send that to you right now.
Thank you.
If we can't, then we'll put. If we can't, then put the link to the meme in the description.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure I can though, depending on the file. English motherfucker. Anyways.
English motherfucker. Okay, I just sent it to you. Anyway, so why indeed does it take place in a prison? So the prison is the setting of the next game, the Jack of Hearts.
Ooh.
And this game takes place in a prison. And actually, I have some fun facts about the prison itself because I was so curious. So the prison the prison they shot in is an actual prison.
Oh, really?
It's an actual prison. It's called the Teo prison. It was built in the Meiji era of Japan.
Oh, wow.
Of Japanese history. So, like, in the 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah. It was based
Later
off
in.
of... Yeah, and it was actually inspired by penitentiaries, like Western-style penitentiaries, like Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
With, like, the solitary confinement cells, the multiple cell blocks. Like, I've actually been in Eastern State Penitentiary. It's really cool. If anybody is in the Philadelphia area and is interested in a little history, it's a really cool place. So anyways, so this prison is the setting of the Jack of Hearts game. And so we're in, like, the main area of the prison where you can see all the hallways with the cell blocks. And who do we see standing against the wall in a white hoodie? It's Chishia!
The boy lived! The man with the hands in the pockets win!
The boy lived. Actually, I saw a thing. Apparently, none of the main characters were in the Jack of Hearts game. They decided to put Chishia into the Jack of Hearts game because they were like, well, what the hell are we going to do with him? I don't know. I assume there's probably a way better reason that we'll get into later on. But,
right.
like, at the moment, when you're watching it for the first time, it's like the writers decided, what the hell are we going to do with Chishia? We'll just throw him in a random game. So
yeah, they did a good job with this game, though.
Yeah, this is my favorite game. Like, no joke. Like, the Jack of Hearts was my favorite game.
Dude, do you remember when I was DMing you when I was watching that episode? I was, like, getting so intense. Yes! Like, being like, if he dies, I'm gonna mess up.
Yo, guys, I have to tell you, Bolt was losing his shit over this game. I actually watched this. I watched this game with my mom because, like, I got her into Alice. I got my mom into Alice in Borderland, and so, like, she was watching season 2 after I'd already finished all the episodes, and she was stunned by this game.
It was goof.
But I suppose we ought to explain the game and why it's so good.
Exactly.
So this game, the Jack of Hearts game is called Solitary Confinement. And so the object of the game is that they have these little collars. Like, you guys remember the collar bombs that Arisu, Karobe, Chote, and Shibuki had in episode 3 with the hide-and-seek game? They're like that, except, like, without the goggles and everything. But they're still the same. They have collars that they have to wear around their necks with a symbol, with a screen that would be on the back of their neck showing a symbol of the 4 suits, either a club, a spade, a heart, or a diamond. And so, solitary confinement is a game of trust because you can't see the symbol that's on the back of your neck, and there are no reflective surfaces for you to see the the symbol. Like there are no mirrors, no windows. How you can't even like if you were to try and like look for the via the security cameras on the ceiling, you still couldn't see the symbol. So you have to rely on other people. I'm sorry, I'm right by a window with the sun.
Let Jesus enter.
Anyway. So you have to rely on other people to tell you what your symbol is. So say for example, if Volt and I were in the Jack of Hearts game, and my symbol on the back of my neck was a diamond, I can't see the symbol. I have no idea what it is. There's no way for me to like twist around and see it for myself unless I want to like break my neck. So I have to rely on Volt to tell me your symbol is a diamond.
Yeah, so
I have to trust that he's right, because there's going to be like there are multiple rounds where we're telling each other what their symbols were, and then when the round was over, they step into their own personal solitary confinement cells that are in the prison. They all step into individual cells, and they have to state aloud what their symbol is. So in this example, Volt tells me your symbol is a diamond, and I have to believe that he is telling me the truth, because when I step in my solitary confinement cell and the voice tells me, please state your symbol, I have to say diamond, and I have to believe that he was telling me the truth, because if he was lying to me, my collar bomb would go off and I would be dead. So like
Yes.
if Volt but however, in this example, Volt told me your symbol is a diamond. It really was a diamond, so I'm safe. But if Volt had told me something like your symbol is a club, and I went in and I said club, boom,
Yeah,
collar bomb would go off and I would die, and I would haunt the crap out of Volt, because I'd be like, how dare you?
I can hear her too as a ghost, and all you just see me do is.
I can see you trying to ignore me, you son of a bitch!
Y'all hear something?
Volt takes out AirPods. Y'all hear something?
Y'all hear something?
But as we said before, heart games are ones that toy with your emotions. They're mind games, but not like intellectual. Like they mess with your head and your emotions. And this game, this is why it's like one of the penultimate games, because the Jack of Hearts is not administering the game. The Jack of Hearts is among these people.
Among us.
They are among. Dun, 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 dun.
I got the music playing.
It's literally like Among Us.
It really is. It really is, honestly.
Yeah, and this game could go on forever. This game could like go on for as long as it takes until either everybody except the Jack of Hearts is dead, or if by some miracle they all manage to figure out who the Jack of Hearts is and manage to get the Jack of Hearts killed. So either the Jack of Hearts has to die, or they all have to die. It's like some twisted up game of Mafia, almost.
Pretty much, yeah. I think.
And there's food in there, there's like running water, there's like food, there's water, there are bathrooms, but there are no beds. They can't sleep.
Yep.
So like they have to this is psychological. This is a game of psychological torture. Like these are psychological torture methods, man. This is why it's one of the penultimate Hearts games. As for why it's not the penultimate Hearts game, well, we'll get to that in a few. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But anyways, so Chishia is in a bit of a spot here because Hearts are not Chishia's specialty. Chishia, I believe it said that his specialty is diamonds.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, what do you think, Vol? I gotta ask, what do you think your specialty would be?
I feel like mine's would probably be more emotional based, so I probably would be the hearts, if anything, because I'm a very emotional guy.
Yeah, but would that be able to translate into you being able to figure out emotions? I'm sure maybe with like your empathy, maybe you could.
Yeah, because I mean, like, for instance, there's times where I can easily tell when somebody is feeling a certain way. Like, sometimes when I notice a friend is, like, acting weird, or I notice something, like, a tone or something is from their voice is off, I actually ask them, like, hey, how are you doing? Or sometimes it's like, let's say you and I were chat, and I feel like something's wrong from how you're messaging me. I'll ask you like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you good?" and stuff. Like it's kind of like stuff like that. Like I can just kind of figure it out.
I could see that. As for me, I feel like I could be a pretty decent maybe diamonds player. I mean, I'm not like math smart, but I would say
Yeah.
I'm pretty smart. So
You-
I could probably be. I mean, I'd probably die early because I never said I was a good diamonds player, but I'd probably be a diamonds player.
Yeah, yeah, I
However,
get you.
Chishiya is a great diamonds player, and so that's why he's in a bit of a bind because this is one of the penultimate Hearts games, and he's a diamonds player. So he's gonna have to change. So he's gonna have to deploy some different tactics. Luckily, he meets a dude named Ippei, who rip Ippei. I actually really liked this guy.
He was nice.
I loved this guy. He was so sweet. So it was literally like I actually kind of laughed because Ippei was really the first one to like approach Shishi and talk to them, and it was literally like that trope in fiction where a character's like, "I hate everyone except this character who is glommed onto me for some reason. I will protect this one with my life.
My life,
Everybody
yeah.
else, fuck them."
Fuck off. Yeah.
It was literally that trope for them, and I wish we could have gotten more of that.
I don't know why.
Anyways,
That just made me think of a meme my friend sent me. Which, by the way, this meme relates to my friend a lot because this is me with her. Where it's like, "Do you have a best friend? Fuck yeah, yeah, hell yeah. Do you love that best friend? Hell yeah. But do they never pick up the goddamn phone when you call? Yeah."
hell yeah!
What?
Yeah. So
Uh,
luckily, Chia meets a player named Ippei, and they kind of become friends and
Okay.
tell each other like their symbols. However, there is also another character in there. Her name is Urumi. She is wearing a blue dress
Oh,
with
I
space
hate
buttons
her.
in her hair. And girl, I actually kind of liked her. I thought she was sneaky. I thought she was sneaky as hell.
I
Because-
already knew.
Yeah, I like the sneaky character. I can appreciate a good manipulative character.
No, but like I already knew she was a bad character from the start. Like just that smug smile she had, I
No,
was already like,
literally, like I really thought she was the Jack of Hearts.
same.
Yeah, because just the way she carried herself, like she was putting on the act of like an innocent little girl, munching happily on her Pocky stick. She was like, "Wow, so we all have to trust each other? Then how about we all form a group and we can all trust each other." Trust a big group, and we can know who the Jack of Hearts is. There's strength in numbers. However, I mean, someone like Volt would probably fake vomit at that, but it works because, in this situation, you want all the help you can get. You want to put your faith in people, and she exploited that to make people start trusting each other, with, of course, the obvious caveat being trusting her.
Yeah.
They'll trust her. And they'll believe what she says because, she's the leader. And it's almost like honestly, I was like, God damn it, is this going to be another Hatter cult situation?
Oh my god, it almost was too, honestly.
It almost was. Anywho, so Urumi puts together her little group, and so Shishi and Ippei join that one. We also see another character whose name is Banda. Go over to a little guy whose head is down and is like, hold on, his hair is over one eye,
Evil
and literally,
bitch.
this guy goes. His name is Enji. This guy with the hair over his eye. His name is Enji. And Banda says to him, "You have the face of." I can't remember what he said, but it was so goddamn dramatic. I was like, "What is the drama?" But he goes, "You have the face of someone cold-hearted. We should be friends."
Friends, yeah.
he literally just like he says this whole like dramatic thing about how dark this guy secretly looks, and then he's just like, "We should be a team. You want to be a team?" And the guy's just like, "Okay."
It kind of makes me think of like the scenario of like an introvert meeting an extrovert.
Literally. And then we are introduced to another character named Yaba, and fuck, I forgot her name. But it was, hold on, Kotoko. That's her name, Kotoko. Yaba and his lady friend Kotoko, and Shishiya literally in like a moment of like if they were friends, like you'd think he was like leaning over to him to like share some to like drop some hot gossip. He goes, "This is a game of trust, so you want to establish who you trust early on in the game." Like those two, he points at Yaba and Kotoko. You want to know what they were doing before the game started?
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
a flashback to them inside a cell where Yaba, has Kotoko bent over with her hands against a wall. He's fucking her. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He's
Yeah.
fucking her.
Oh my god, that was the fact they
It's
showed that
literally,
scene too. I was like,
I was literally like gaping at my screen, like the envy was too stunned to speak. I was stunned. I was gobsmacked.
like, oh my god, this is like the freaking
thunderstruck.
this is like the whatchamacallit, the what was her name again from the season 1? It was
Shibuki?
Shibuki. It was almost like
it
the
was like
Shibuki.
the flashback of
It's
Shibuki.
Shibuki.
Of Shibuki and her boss.
Yeah, it was almost like that.
But yeah,
Oh my
I
god.
was stunned. I was gobsmacked. Anyway, well, so that's how Yaba established his control and trust in Kotoko because of their little dom sub thing they had going on. He knew he could trust her.
Dom sub.
Come on! Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
Am I?
No.
Exactly. I'm not wrong. I am not wrong. I am correct. So he having established his dominant, I hate using that word, but establishing his dominance over her or whatever, he knows that he can trust her to give him the right symbol, because why would she lie to him? So, those characters all established, let's get into the game. So, a couple rounds go smoothly. Everybody lives, nobody dies, everybody says their symbol, everybody gives the right symbol, everybody is doing okay. And then, a prisoner, well, I don't know if he was a prisoner, but he kind of looks like a
He was like a
ex-con of
thug.
some kind.
He was like a thug.
Yeah, thug. A tattooed, muscled, even had his head shaved, dude. It was like, he looked like a thug.
Yeah.
Like your like stereotypical cliche thug you see in movies, like starting bar fights or whatever.
Yeah.
He beats up. There's a moment where he beats up the guy. It's kind of implied that he kind of bullied this guy into giving him his symbol.
Yeah.
And so he throws the guy to the floor. He shoves the guy to the floor, and Banda goes over to the guy, like on the floor, and goes, "Hey, you all right? You okay? You okay?" And then in his ear whispers, "Tell him the wrong symbol."
And
And something shifts in the air, and the manipulation has begun. And that gets into the question of who exactly the Jack of Hearts is. Is it Banda? Because he whispered into his ear that he should give him the wrong symbol? We don't know.
I thought it was him too.
Know. I gotta tell you, I really thought it was Urumi for the longest time. So, anywho, so the guy gives the thug dude the wrong symbol. He goes into his cell going, ha, 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 ha. Literally, like, he acted like a smug character in a shonen manga,
Yeah.
Like, I have expected his shoulders to be shaking, like, ha, 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 ha. Ha. Dude. But yeah, so he gave his symbol, and then boom!
Yeah.
His collar explodes.
Yep.
He's dead. I was like, and when I saw this, I was just like, oh shit.
I was just like, oh no, the flashbacks.
Which, by the way, I actually saw a thing online. Like, somebody pointed out how it was only in, like, heart games where, like, you had those collar bombs, like, that seemed to take off people's heads. And it's a reference to how in Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts is always yelling, "Off with her head!"
Oh, shoot, actually, yeah, you're right.
Like, there are so many, like, Alice in Wonderland parallels. You get the parallel of the Queen of Hearts yelling Queen of Hearts off with their heads with the collar bombs.
Oh, wait, I think I'm starting to understand a little bit of the Queen of Hearts moment almost now.
Yeah. And so anyways, the manipulation has begun, and you can see this even more when in another scene, Urumi turns to her little group of followers and goes, that guy told the thug character the wrong symbol. What if he's the Jack of Hearts? We should vote. We should tell him he has the wrong symbol.
I hated her
And she
so
starts
much.
slowly manipulating everybody. Meanwhile, God, I wish I'd had props for this because this was the funniest bit for me. Because meanwhile, while all of this is going down, and even like poor Ippei is like sitting next to him, sweating because he's just so like nervous and anxious. Meanwhile, Chishiya just relaxed, just vibing with his cookies,
Yeah, I know, right?
just munching on his snacks, going, "Damn, that's crazy, bro."
Like, damn, this is some cool shit. I
literally.
really expected him at one point to go, like, oh my god, these cookies are amazing.
Yeah, or it's just like, oh my god, I have never seen this flavor before.
Yeah, right. It's just like, we're in the middle of a death game and you're talking about food? What? This is amazing.
People are dying, Kim. However, obviously, Chishiya isn't doing that, but isn't just sitting there eating his cookies. He's scanning the room because Chishiya, again, is smart. He is a smart little dude with a smart little noggin in his head. So, back to Urumi. She starts manipulating everybody around her to give the wrong symbols to each other until no one can trust anybody in the group. And we start seeing this with one woman who, after Urumi tells her symbol, she runs up to some other people and says, "Excuse me, I can't trust my partners. Can you tell me the symbol on my neck? On the back of my neck?" Like, she goes and gets a second opinion because she can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
And so they give her another symbol. And actually, I was so stunned because she gave the symbol, I think they told her it was a club or something. And so she's like, club, okay, thank you, club. And she's like laughing in her cell, like, it's a club!
And then
her collar bomb goes off. I was stunned. I really thought she was gonna live because I really thought Urumi had given her the wrong symbol, but no.
They gave her the right one.
Did Urumi? But that actually makes you question: did Urumi give her the right symbol? Did she still give her the wrong symbol? And they were both wrong. Like, you really don't know what's going on, and that is again how you know it's a hearts game because even the viewers aren't sure of what's going on.
Yeah.
In moments like that.
And
so. Eventually, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say soon they turn on the bitch.
Oh, yes, they do. So 2 more players, a man and a woman, they are talking to each other, and they realize that they can't trust either Urumi and another guy that was there. I forgot his name, but he kind of had like a rat type of face.
Yeah.
I just remember looking at him going, what a rat.
What a rat.
Yeah, literally. So I just remember him as rat guy, rat-faced guy. Like that guy, or just like rat-faced guy. So they're talking about how they can't trust either of them. So they decide to give them the wrong symbols.
Yeah.
But, except, you don't know if they gave them the wrong symbols or not. So, the 2 of them are in their cells. And I was like, no way, wait, hold on. If she's the Jack of Hearts, then she would live, right? Because like, she's a player, but she's still a face card. Like, she has a way to like know her symbol too, right? Right? If she's the Jack of Hearts, because I kid you not, guys, I was certain that she was the Jack of Hearts. But she gives her symbol of spade, takes a triumphant little bite of her Pocky, and then she explodes.
Dude, you have
my jaw. I shit you not, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, what?
Yeah, see, that was her. That was Liv's reaction. That was their reaction. My reaction was, where are you going?
I was shocked, and then I started like laughing in shock. I was like, what?
Meanwhile, I was cheering, just like, we are the champions.
Like, oh, like now I remember. I specifically went like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah. I did not expect that. Her Pocky went flying. Did you notice that? Like
Oh,
her
no.
Pocky stick, it didn't like shatter or like it didn't break or anything. It was still completely intact, but it just went flying.
I didn't notice that. I gotta look back at that.
Rip to the Pocky and rip to Arumi. You were a hell of a player.
But mostly ripped to the Pocky.
Yeah, mostly strawberry. Strawberry is my favorite flavor of Pocky too. With matcha being a close second.
I thought it was good, but I prefer the chocolate.
I love Pocky so much. I should go get some after this. Anyways, I'll eat it and remember Arumi. No. I'll eat it and I'll watch the episode. I'll eat it and I'll watch the episode and I'll try to act like Arumi with her, her cute little smile with the Pocky.
If you do record it and send it to me so I can put this in.
We can include it in the blooper reel.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Anywho. So it cuts back to Chishia and Ippei. Chishia is still calm, as I assume one could be when they're under this much level of stress. I would be so stressed out. I would not fare well in this game.
Neither would I.
I probably would have been dead within a few rounds because I would have just been panicking.
That's why I would hope that we would be in the same team together, because I feel like we could have helped each other out easily.
And my thing is, though, like, my mom actually brought this up to me. She told me that, like, when I told her, like, I probably wouldn't survive in this game. I'd be so stressed. She told me that, like, she's observed that, like, I tend to work pretty well under pressure. Like, maybe I'm panicking, but, like, on the outside, I appear calm. So she told me that maybe either if I'm not panicking, I'm relatively calm and I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, but then I was just like, yeah, no, I'd be panicking.
Yeah, no, meanwhile, there's me who's always freaking out even before the problem gets solved.
No. Dude, you are, like, grabbing hold of Chishia's jacket and, like, putting your face on it, and Chishia's, like, mildly disgusted. It's like, get your face off my hoodie.
Get your face off my... Keep your face out my goddamn hoodie.
Dude. He just looks too mildly disgusted, like, get your face out of my hoodie. You are embarrassing yourself. However, he doesn't do that for Ippei, even though, maybe if he talked to Ippei a little bit. There was actually a very sweet moment where it maybe demonstrated a little bit of growth Chishia was having, where Ippei was, like, legitimately panicking. And Chishia started talking to him, and he slowly started to talk him down a little bit. He like talked him down, and like the way he was speaking, I know when I have panic attacks, it does help to have somebody talk to you in a calm tone.
Yeah.
Like calm, certain, and it also helps that Chishia is a very logical person. So it helped. So when Ippei was panicking, it helped that Chishia was talking to him in a logical, calm tone. But however, it didn't work because the next round, when they all got in their cells, Ippei broke down and he refused to give his symbol. And his collar exploded. And he was out. And we actually got a really nice moment. Well, kind of sad, where Chishia, like, stopped by his cell, kind of, like, waiting for him to come out. The fact that he was waiting for Ippei to come out,
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that hurts. And then he looked in, and he saw, and he goes, and it doesn't include it in the subtitles, but he says in Japanese, he calls him Ippei-kun, which is how you address, like, your friends.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I assume so. Like, I'm not Japanese, but...
Yeah.
But if you're using... I know that if you're using... saying, like, Ippei-kun instead of Ippei-san, that demonstrates a certain level of familiarity.
Yeah.
So he really did... So, like, he really did consider Ippei a friend, but he said, Ippei, you were too good for this place. He goes, well... I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And that's how episode 3 ends.
I love that it ended with him going, well, I'm screwed. That was actually when I was DMing Liv that I was panicking.
Yeah, I was stressed this episode. I was so stressed. But yeah, so when episode 4 picks up, there are only 5 players left. Chishia. Hold on. Chishia, Banda, Enji, Yaba, and Kotoko.
Yep.
They're the 5 left. two of them, Yaba and Kotoko, are in one team. The other two, Enji and Banda, are in another team, leaving only Chishia as the only one without anybody he can trust. Chishia is completely alone. And what does he do? Well, he goes back to the basement and gets another package of cookies. And so, but actually, like, when you look back after the whole reveal, what he was doing was pretty genius.
Yeah.
Because she decided to not manipulate, but rely on his ability to read people's, because Chishia can read people. He can read your face, he can read your expression, and he can analyze what you're thinking based on your facial expression. So, and also like what you say, because another part of it's referenced in one episode of Criminal Minds actually. In like a season 1 episode, they say 90% of communication is nonverbal. So it's also not just about like what you say, it's also about what you don't say. And Chishia puts that to good use when he starts talking to Enji and then Kotoko, saying to both of them, I have no one. My partner's dead, and I got nobody. So will you tell me my symbol? I'll tell you yours. And they go, and Enji particularly goes, how can I trust you? What if you're the Jack of Hearts? And Chishia says to him, you know your partner Yap, your partner Banda, your partner that approached you? Yeah, he's a serial killer. Because in the real world, Banda was actually like a convicted serial killer.
Yeah.
My man was in jail.
My man was literally in jail.
And of course, people on Tumblr still found him hot.
I hate those people.
You know what? Oh, you know what? I'm not going to judge because he's fictional. He can't hurt anybody in the real world. So, no, let them be. Let them be. Anywho, let them write their reader fics in peace. Just click away from them. As
Click
the respectful
away.
behavior for them. Just click away without leaving a mean comment, as is the respectful thing to do on the internet. But I digress. Anywho, so he tells Enji, yo, your partner is a serial killer. How can you trust what he says? He might be the Jack of Hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he doesn't get an answer from Enji. However, he does notice that Enji takes some cookies from another package of cookies. And literally, as he's walking away, Chichi goes, these are better, by the way.
Yeah.
He literally says to all of the characters, he like holds up his own cookies and goes, these are better. It actually made me want to try the cookies, I'll be honest.
I'm curious
I was like,
now.
why does he keep saying this? Yeah,
I know.
literally.
I don't know.
He also says the same thing to Kotoko when she comes into the snack room. Telling her that he can't trust anybody, that he doesn't know who the Jack of Hearts is, and will you tell me your symbol? Yours is a heart, by the way, that he says to her. But once again, he doesn't get much of an answer. Although Enji does say to him that his symbol is a club. But it's in a way where he's like kind of like going over his shoulder going, this is a club. Like maybe as though club was the first symbol that came to mind for him to say. How can he even trust that?
Yeah.
So we cut to the final round of the solitary confinement. It all comes down to this one last round. Chishia is in his cell, speaking his thought process aloud. Enji told him that it was clubs. He can't trust Enji, so it must not be clubs. He asked Kotoko. He asked Kotoko if his was a heart. She didn't say anything. She just walked away. So maybe it's not a heart because while she didn't tell him anything, maybe she also didn't want to lie. So she just picked the go-between of being silent. So it all comes down to either a spade or a diamond. And ultimately, Chishia goes with his gut and says it's... We don't know what he says! It just cuts to the outside in the hallway of the cells. And all is quiet, and you hear... Boom! Whose collar went off? Whose collar went off? And who is the Jack of Hearts? A door opens, and out steps Enji, and he says, I won!
And he proceeds
because
to do...
Enji was the Jack of Hearts.
And he proceeds to do...
No, literally, he was doing like a discount like Yagami laugh for a second there. It was literally like a discount like Yagami,
Yeah.
Yagami laugh. Like literally, you could have had Chichi going, "You're the Jack of Hearts, admit it." And he goes, "That's right.
I
I
want
am
to
the
try that
Jack
now.
of Hearts."
I want to try. I want to try that laugh that where it just goes. My shit cut off. My leg hit the wire.
Oh no.
All right, so yeah.
So he's laughing and laughing. He thinks he's won, and then another door opens. The voice goes, "I figured you were the. I had a feeling you were the Jack of Hearts." And out steps Chishia, who is still alive.
Dude,
He is alive.
I sighed in relief when I saw that. I was like, "Oh my god, thank God!"
I started screaming. Like I actually began to scream because I was like, "What is going on?"
I know,
I was
right?
so confused.
I know,
I was
so
so
sorry.
confused. Like he's the Jack of Hearts. Chi-Chi's alive. What's going on? Who died?
And then soon, two other doors open.
And it's Yaba and Banda. Meaning the explosion that went off came from the cell that poor Kotoko was in.
Yep,
She died. And Chishia reveals how he figured out that his suspicion that Enji was the Jack of Hearts. Because of the snacks.
Yeah.
It was the packages of cookies. There were 4 flavors of the packages of cookies. So there were 4 different flavors of the same. It was the same brand of cookies in the same brand and the same packaging, except there were 4 flavors. And you know how when things are different flavors, the packaging will be a different color. So since there were 4 flavors, 4 colors for the 4 card suits, meaning if Enji and Kotoko were working together the whole time to make sure they were all still alive. It's actually said in the manga I was reading that Enji somehow does a hypnosis deal on Kotoko to hypnotize her into working with him. I have no fucking clue how that worked, but it also said that Enji had a special type of eye that it was kind of like the Mad Eye Moody's eye in Harry Potter, where it allowed him to it would swivel around in his head and he could actually see out the back of his head.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's what it says in the manga. And it also explains, in the manga anyway, it explains why his hair covered his one eye, because he was hiding this special glass eye that he had.
Wow.
So his eye could swivel around. He could see out the back of his head, and he could see the symbol on the back of his neck. So he never even needed Kotoko, but he hypnotized her anyway into helping him out to kill everybody, because he couldn't do it by himself. But regardless, in the show, it's never really established how they started. I'm assuming they started working together before Yaba went to town.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're so immature. Anyways, before Yaba did his whole thing, I'm assuming they started working together. They agreed to work together before that. But, so say for example, Enji picked out a certain level, a certain color, and he passed by Kotoko, and he kind of discreetly would make sure the package was visible. He would tell her, what her card suit was, what her symbol was.
Yep.
And she did the same to Enji, and they both kept each other alive. This game almost broke my brain. I was
I was sitting there so lost, dude. I couldn't even comprehend what was going on. Liv? Oh no! Oh no! She froze! Liv! No! Fuck! Alright, hold up for a second. I'm going to grab my charger because it looks like my laptop is about to die.
Oh no.
Oh no. So let's quickly connect it before my recording stops. Oh no, hold on.
so amazing. We're
Got it.
feeling wild of good things.
Thanks. Good
Don't get
times.
any better than this. We're in for good times.
Times. I hope. Okay, I'm gonna check if that song's not copyrighted because I might play that as our ending song.
Oh my god.